Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mousillon campaign for Mortal Empires. So today we're starting off with another battle, although this time it's not the Sterling spam that we had to deal with last time. Instead, it's an ambush where we are the defenders against Craventail's army. Now you may remember from when we fought the battle of Fort Sol last episode, that Tretch here has a very interesting army, with, 5 or 6 burning behemoths, a brood horror, some storm vermin. Yeah, a very interesting army. But hopefully the Red Duke and his forces are more than capable of taking them on. There's only one way to find out though, and that is going to be down on the battlefield. So here we are guys with the Red Duke, as the convoy is about to be attacked by the Skaven, led by Craventail. Now when the game gives me a second to load things up, thank you. Let's slow things down a minute so you guys are aware of what's going on right now. So, the Skaven are deployed on two sides of our march order. So on our left, we've got all the weapon teams, the bombardiers, the warp fire throwers, and so on. Over here is the rest of the Skaven army. Now, this, as you can imagine, makes things very easy for us, because back at the rear of the line, I've got all of my cavalry units. So, I've got everyone from the Ladies Lost, the Bloodsworn, the Duke's Companions, and the Dreadwings, as well as Louis, basically charging into the weapon teams before they can even get a shot off. Now, these are going to make short work of the weapon teams, and over here I'm sending the Screaming ones. Because while they're doing that, I'm setting up the rest of my line ready to receive the enemy's attack. Now, while I've been doing that, I also send Mina up ahead to try and set off the Purple Sun. Now, luckily for me, for whatever reason, the Skaven decided to bunch up right here. So, if we start things up again, any second, it's a nice bit of Purple Sun going right through the enemy lines. Now, I didn't get as many of them as I would have liked, but it did do a fair bit of damage. In fact, if I hover over Mina a second, you can see how much she managed to get off in one shot. And it's going up higher and higher and higher and higher. Now, unfortunately for me, I didn't put my people in the right deployment, so I put them too far ahead. So by the time they were actually get close into formation, the Bowen and Behemoths were able to get their charges in. Now, luckily for me, though, because while they managed to get their charges in, we've got a number of units scattered around with the Restless Slain, our spearmen, ready to deal with the behemoths here. We've got the Bastardiers of Shalon over here. And, yeah, otherwise, it's kind of okay. We've still got 2 units of the Restless Slain over here as well, so we'll be able to deal with this Bourbon and Behemoth, and this one making its way over. My Bordelot Bowmen are about to get some shots in, although they're not going to do that much against these guys because of their armor. And just to show you what's happening over here, we've pretty much wiped out a lot of their forces. They're at this point basically all shattered. We've got 1 unit still hanging on in there with the Duke's Companions chasing them down. The Ladies Lost are sent after this unit of warp fire throwers rather than using the Screaming ones, because I just figured they'll get the job done much more quickly. And over here, Louis is just finishing off this last unit of bombardiers as well. Now, because I've got all these weapon teams scattered, I've sent the Bloodsworn round to my right flank, ready to go after this Bourbon and Behemoth. Because these are anti-large and very highly trained, they're going to do a very good job against these guys. Now, if you remember from when we fought the Fort battle last episode, these Bourbon and Behemoths were a right pain in the butt in that battle. But luckily we're much better prepared, as many of my cavalry units, such as the Dreadwings here, are anti-large and going to be able to do a fair bit of damage against them. Now, to help out in the centre, because we've got a number of them here going after my troops, I sent in the Red Duke in order to try and do what he can against them. It's not his specialty, but I figured he should be able to do just fine. And to help things out a bit, you can see back here I've sent off a Wind of Death. I was hoping to actually try and catch this unit of Storm Vermin at the end, but we managed to spell petered out just before we got over there. Unfortunate, but it's one of those things. Now in the meantime, the Dreadwings are finally coming in now as a rear charge. Going after these lots of Brood Horrors and Behemoths right here. Storm Vermin at this point have started to retreat, which is excellent news. And we still got one left over here, but I've got the Ladies Lost, while the Black Whale Knights are anti-infantry. They are also extremely good, as you can tell from the stat line. They're going to be able to make short work of the behemoth quite easily. Now also over here, unfortunately, where did she get to? Oh, there she is. I had Mina actually fighting over here, going up against, it was originally the Mutant Rat Ogre, but she must have got tagged by some of the other Skaven units, because, well, she still managed to do a fair bit of damage, 136 kills at this point, and barely taking any damage in return. Although I imagine something that might be down to the hunger. Because don't forget, vampire characters generally get the ability to regenerate their health a bit. Yeah, as you can see. But anyway, on the left flank things are going pretty smoothly. Over here we're just charging down and chasing after enemy units. Over on this side we're still trying to deal with the behemoths. A number of them unfortunately are going to get away just because they're going to be faster than my infantry, and I've only got so many cavalry to try and chase them down. But we're doing okay. We got the Duke's Companions going after this one here, the Bloodsworn going after this one up here, and I'm trying to get the Duke to go after Craventail to knock down his health some more. While I wasn't planning to kill him, I wanted to make sure he was as weak as possible, so if we had to fight his army again, we can easily eliminate him and give the army-wide debuff to their leadership. But at this point, victory is mine. Everyone has shattered and started to retreat. Like I said, I'm trying to send units after the behemoths in particular, because those were the worst ones to face out of the enemy units. But we're going to be able to kill some of them, like this one up here, and one or two others that my cavalry are going after. But generally, a couple are still going to escape. But that's okay. It's one of those things. In any case, I think we can go back to the campaign map now. So there we have it, with a close victory. Don't know if I agree with the game personally, given how few losses we took compared to Craventail, but on the whole, I'm happy with it. The only thing I wish is that I killed off more of the Boven and Behemoths. I managed to wound a lot of them, as you can see, but trying to chase them down while they were scattered across the map, I only have so many cavalry units, and so I wasn't able to chase them all. But I did allow Tretch to escape, simply because I want him weak if we have to fight the army again, because he'll be so much easier to defeat next time. I'm surprised though as well, the bombardiers and the weapon teams basically, not many of them got wiped out. I wasn't keeping an eye on them, because as soon as they were shattered, I made my cavalry come and join the main fight, but I honestly expected them to be, well, dead. Oh well. One of those things. Let's go ahead and return the captives. And depending on what he does, maybe we'll be able to chase him down in the following turn? Doesn't look like he's going to move, so that's something. Oh, crap. So as you can see, the Sisters of Twilight have come to attack Knight's Pass along with some reinforcements. And the balance bar is massively against us. I'm not looking forward to this fight, but if we can at least bloody them or even kill off a couple of units, that will be great. But we're going to have to try our best in this fight. I'm not going to bother auto-resolving because we will barely get anywhere, so let's fight the battle and just see how much damage we can inflict. Well, after that battle, I decided to make the executive decision not to include it in the episode. Just, yeah, wasn't good for me at all. I did manage to at least destroy 2 units of Waystalkers, which I'm kinda happy with, but yeah, nearly killed off some Wildwood Rangers, as well as the War Dancers, but just, ugh. Now I know how it feels like if to play against more Mel's army in my Pestilence campaign. With all these monstrous creatures like the Zoets, those just did a number on my troops, and I couldn't get anything against them. I basically did the same thing. They sent in this unit of Enigmas of Gairan to attack my gates. I sent in one of my Grey Weapon Graveguards in order to attack them. Barely did any damage. Yet these guys were able to smash down the walls, and luckily for me, didn't actually kill any of these guys. But, well, they killed a few of them, I should say. But, yeah, not many. Yet, we were barely able to touch them despite them not even hitting me. That, ugh. Anyway. Unfortunately, that does mean Night's Pass is now destroyed. Well, I suppose we can always go back in and get it again once we've dealt with them. Alright, so the last thing I think to do in this end turn phase, we've got Vermont von Valkenstein attacking Dottenbach. Now, balance bar massively in my favour, but just going to do that. They did manage to keep a unit of wolves and a corpse cart, so we're going to have to deal with another attack in the future. Let's go ahead and just dominate the captives, I think. Yeah, new vampire leading the army. That's unfortunate. Oh. Okay, it's Strigoi Ghoul King leading the army. Fair enough. So, what has happened? We've got a critical failure by a clan squire agent. I'm happy about that. Settlement's been razed, killed. We defeated Bruno Posner. Who the hell was that? Well, I suppose on the other hand, it does give me +5 to my leadership. Duke's picked up the Craven by Name trait from defeating Tretch. The extra speed will come in handy for him. He's pretty fast on his dragon already, so the extra 12% is just going to skyrocket his movement ability, you know? But, here we are, back to my turn. Now, as you remember last time, we've defeated Sutherland. We've taken all of their territory and wiped out the faction. So, I had originally a plan for what we wanted to do next. But again, in the comment section of the last episode from longtime viewer Alvor Real, so it gave me a much better plan. So thank you very much, mate, for that. So instead of doing things like going after Reichland and that, we're going to take advantage of the chaos that's happening up in the north and go after other targets instead. So, let me just remind myself where everybody is. So we've got Malabad and Vlad there, William here, Duke is here, and here in Savior, can't remember, what was I doing with you? Oh yeah, you were going to join up with my Strigoi army. Okay, Nicolette is coming over. Marius, this is the new commander we've got. Aiden Anard, right. Oh yeah, we had this army I spotted during the end turn phase. So something that was suggested was, it was a bit of a silly idea, really, for me to actually confederate. I just thought, why the hell not? But there's no way it's worth our interest to keep this place, because it could also cause the dwarves to declare war on us, and I'd rather not try and deal with them until we're in a better position. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, because we get more money this way, I'm going to go ahead and demolish the building separately, and then we'll go ahead and abandon it. As you can see, if we just abandon it straight away, we only get 2,200 dark magic. Whereas by doing it from here, for example, we get 2,400 just from this building alone. So doing all of those and then doing the town will be much, much better. Now, speaking of things, what we will do as well is just disband these guys. We don't need the army down here. So you can go. Goodbye. Right. Although, I do have a number of battle markers, especially around here in Iron Rock. They've got enough to give us some powerful undead units if we ever had an army down here. But we're okay for now, though. So, Fort Seoul. Let's start things off with the Duke. We're going to grab you to go down this way. Let's kill off Tretch. There we go. We'll go ahead and dominate the captives. I Shield of Patalis, the Exterminator. And we'll go after Fort Seoul next. Now this should be a fairly easy fight. We've been trying to keep it, build up the level of the fort, but as we've been taking it and they've taken it and now we're taking it back, it's just making it lower and lower. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Decisive victory. Occupy it. Picked up the Obsidian Amulet. Now one thing I do need to do, and I've been meaning to do it for a little while, but every time I've been getting to the end of the episode to do it, I end up getting stuck in a battle. So I do need to go through all my characters just to have a look to see what magical items that they have, so we can swap them out for anything better that happens to be in our possession. So, for example, we've got the Obsidian Trinket here, which gives the Duke 10% magic resistance. But we also just picked up a item, the... Where was it? Obsidian Amulet, which gives us 20%. Nothing else really is of interest for us, so let's just go ahead and give you that. And then let you rest up. You'll be up at full strengthening, and then we can see about... Oh, wait. Huh. I wonder what's been happening here now. Tilia must be pushing it upwards, because... Well, Karak Izor has now been burnt down, but there is no red line for the borders to represent an enemy force being nearby. Maybe Clan Squire is actually being pushed back. I mean, can we see? Yeah, they're very much weak now. Let's have a look. Only 4 settlements. And according to this, yeah, all of that just belongs to an unknown enemy at this point. You know what? I wonder if we can... Damn, I can't. That's the thing, the AI is willing to keep fighting until death against us, and I do find that a little annoying. But that's part of the difficulty, isn't it? Alright. Tell you what, we'll get both of those off you. And reliability might be low, but given the more more diplomacy we can do, hopefully the reliability will continue to increase. And then this is also going to help us out with money. So you aren't willing to do us anything. What about Vegan's Inventory? Nope. Not yet, anyway. Weapons. I like the fact that some of these are actually quite happy to talk to me. Like her. This Crusader for Bretonnia, right? Been fighting against the Tomb Kings, against Araby, and yet she's quite happy to discuss with us a vampire faction, because now, according to, well, as far as the game's concerned, we've conquered most of Bretonnia. So, even though there is still the king in terms of Leon Kerr, he's going to be joined with Carcassonne, or what's now known as the Kingdom of Bretonnia. But, yeah, we've definitely got the advantage here. It's just a shame we can't get the trade. But that's going to boost that up. What about you? I'd rather deal with the... I'll leave it for now. I would rather deal with the elves than them. But what about anyone else? Nope. Prophesize War? Not that it really matters. I mean, we could have gone for it. Leave for some undead, maybe? Nah. There we go, a little bit of extra trade. Our income now has gone back up to normal, thanks to us no longer having that army. So, yeah, we'll be in a better position from now on. So, one unfortunate thing is now we've still got the 2 armies right here. Nicolette is trying to make her way around. So, I'll tell you what, on the risk of... Okay, so they can get up to here. I'll risk moving Nicolette over to here in forced march. Should still be out of range of these 2 armies if they try to attack, so that should be okay. Then, for you... Where would be the best place to move you, do you think? Still want to get a couple more units. Right. Can't really get much more here, though, apart from maybe getting some more ghouls. We might end up doing that, actually. We still got to put, what's his name? Deathspitter in. The guy that was injured in the previous fight. But we'll move you over here for the minute. And again, we'll just make sure we are outside of the range of any characters. So you're okay. And you're okay. Right, I'll tell you what, Nan. Let's get you 2 units of these. And... get you some more ghouls. Like that. I'm in my head, I'm using the Black Knights as yet another part of the retinue that the White King that we originally sent to join up with Marius happens to lead. Although, I love the comment in the last episode where I was saying about how Laurel here and Marius could be a bit of a Beauty and Beast vibe, you know? So, if anyone wants to try and ship them, feel free to, although, no details, please. Ugh. Alright, I'm just trying to save bestiality for another campaign. Although, speaking of campaigns actually, if I just take a moment... Oh no, I'll talk about that during the end turn phase. That'd be better. Otherwise I'm just going around the place. Right. Nicolette has now moved. Aiden can stay there. Arnaud can stay there. Vlad. Now, it was suggested, instead of me sending Vlad up this way, that instead we send him and Malabad over towards Middenland. Because then we can use Talabecland as sort of a buffer between Clan Mulder and us. Push up here then to go after Middenland and Nordland. And then we can sort of swing back around then to go after Talabecland in the future. So with that in mind, let's get you guys... I suppose we could... Yeah, we want you to basically head back to Ortdorf. Let's try, though, not to enact any diplomatic penalties. So you can go there. You can come down this way too. Right, so that's you guys moved. We'll get William then to head back to the Empire... Sorry, back to over here as well. We'll get you heading towards Uberswijk for the moment. Depending on the situation, we might either try and take on the Sisters of Twilight while they're here in Night's Pass. Or... yeah, we might try to do something like that. So you've got one more turn. Everyone now has moved, correct? Oh yeah, Eustache. I'm going to get Eustache. We're going to ignore the situation over here. Instead, let's start moving you over towards Carenberg. One thing we'll need to do as well when we go to war against Middenland is take Carrick Ziflin, just because it's going to be annoying if we have a Middenland army right by my borders to my main central location. Alright, otherwise, let's move you. Let's move you. Got commandment available here at Fort Sol yet again. Let's go ahead and make it grow. Settlement upgrades at Grenstadt. Sure, this will give us fortifications now. We'll go ahead and get that too. Flensburg and Needlin. Let's see. Where was Needlin actually again? All the way over here. Given its location, I'm going to go with here first, just because it's going to be, out of the two locations, more likely to be attacked. We've got to wait a couple more turns for Krugenheim as well, although we are starting to spread vampiric corruption thanks to the Balefire Brazier. Alright then, Red Duke. We've worked on that, we've given you that. I keep feeling his combat abilities is a little lackluster. So, let's try and give you some more health, I guess. And I'll have to think about other ways we can try and improve it. Okay, for you then, let's go for that. Flo, let's give you Opportunist, finish that off. And then anything else we can upgrade with the last bit of our cash. So Steingart, for example, we'll go ahead... I suppose we can actually give you the Swamp, can't we? Not going to be using it for anything else, so by going for the Cursed Bog, that will give us extra money from that. I'll grab that as well, sure. Over here in Wissenberg, everything is okay apart from just get some more defenses maybe. What about Reichland? Upgrading the Brazier to the full will be good. Public order is still only a -1, so that's not too bad. In fact, we'll go for that just to increase the Brazier. Tax rate is all well and good, but I'm actually going to... do I want to switch it over? Nah, I think we'll be okay, actually. Alright, we've got almost the best defenses available, so in fact, just in case the sisters do attack, I'd rather go for that. We'll do the same for Grunberg. And then, finally, we can hit end turn. So, something I did want to ask you guys about is whether or not you've seen the new trailer for The Silent and the Fury. So, bearing in mind, this is coming out in, what, 2 weeks, roughly? 2 and a bit weeks? So, we've still got that deadline for our campaigns. Now, when the new DLC comes out, I'm going to take a week break because, as you guys know, I like to play with the mods, and I want to give the mod creators time to update their mods before I go back into things. I hate those people that, you check the comments of the mod page, and they always turn around and say things like, oh, when are you going to update this? Please update this, blah, blah, blah. And I think, guys, they're doing it for free. When they get around to it, they'll get around to it, But I'm going to give them some time before we carry on. But we are going to have to come up with some campaign ideas. Now, what I'm thinking to do, actually, because we haven't done it for a long time, is to go back and actually play like Attila or something like that, one of the more historical Total War games. Because we've done Warhammer for a long, long time, and I think it could be good just to have a bit of a change of pace. Oh, Thoric Ironbrow. In case you haven't seen the news yet, he's going to be a free LC character that is going to be introduced with the DLC, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see. But anyway, going back to my original talk. So, I am going to do one Warhammer campaign, and to be honest with you guys, I'm tempted to do a Beastman campaign, because they're going to have the overhaul to their mechanics. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go. But I don't want to play as Taurox, because I think every big, YouTuber is going to be playing as Taurox, as Exotl, or playing as Thoric Ironbrow. And in fact, I've seen, Janice on Occasion is actually doing a campaign at the moment with Thoric. So I've tempted instead to maybe go for Kazakh, the One-Eyed, or Malagor, something like that. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Is that something you would like to see, a Beatsman campaign, or something else? What I will do is get some feedback from you guys, hopefully, and then we'll be able to put a poll up on the community tab when the DLC comes out, so I can get some feedback and see what you guys would like to see for the next Warhammer campaign. But I think it would be good to go back to some of the older Total War titles for the second campaign. Like I said, we haven't touched upon those for quite a while. And I'm sure there's some people here that came originally because of the Eastern Roman Empire campaign I've done and other ones, and have just been sitting around while I've been playing Warhammer for a long time. But, yeah, we shall see. Oh, and I have noticed that the Grand Principality of Eichland has been destroyed, so saves us having to go after them, I guess. So, Adambrand, serving off. You're not going to be taking Gorcel from me anytime soon. And I'm going to go ahead and dominate the captives as well, just in case. And we've got Bruno Posner trying to go back for Dottenbach. Goodbye. He still survived it. I'd say the most annoying rebels to spawn are definitely the undead factions, just because you keep getting this. Although I suppose I can't complain, it does give the garrison more experience every time they fight the army. So, yeah, I suppose I can't say much, can I? Anyway, let's see. That's happened. Picked up a treasurer. Okay. Vendrick Hilsnick, our Banshee's back. Lethal Etiquettes. That's actually quite a fitting description for vampires when you think about it. You know, killer of the manners of a rabbit is the most dangerous kind, to veil their intent beneath a sheen of civility. Then you guys have been destroyed. We've got a bunch of raiding still going on. Right. Luckily for me, the sisters have pulled back, although they do have the army that's still reinforcing them nearby. I had to wonder, though, how this army originally joined in, because I didn't see them move, but they were actually in the World Roots stance before, so that's how they managed to jump over so quickly. Now, Marius, I'm not going to get you to fight by yourself, but we're going to get Nicolette to head towards Montfort. I'm going to get you to bypass and go into Paravon. That way, then, if they do try to attack us, at least we have a decent garrison here and here. So that's you guys done. Aiden, yeah, you can just keep around moving there. Arnaud, do the same here. Eustache has already got his targets, he's going to head over there. Vlad is doing the same. Malabad's going to do the same. And the Red Duke will be next. So what I'm actually tempted to do is move the Duke down here. But out of all the Wood Elf factions, we're not actually at war with Orion. Just with Nyeth the Prophetess, Durfu, and Togovan. And so yeah, I don't really feel comfortable just marching through and trespassing him, just in case he brings the war to us. So what I might actually do is move down here to Carrick Izor. We'll see about taking it back. I would have loved to have taken this region though. if I hover over, right, this whole region has had nothing but casualties and fights. So we would have been able to have a lot of replenishment and raising dead opportunities there. But it's okay. Maybe in the future we can go up against the Tillian city-states. Alright, anyway. That's that done. You... Let's actually get you to come over here. If possible. Just because I would like to take... In fact, better yet, can we get you this way? Yeah, if we can get here just to go and assassinate some heroes along the way, that would be quite nice. But that should be now everybody. Yeah. So if we head back down into here as well, let's go to Valaya Sorrow, and let's just destroy this. So we're only going to get 800 for demolishing it and abandoning it. But I'd rather do that, well, do what we did, and take it all separately for the extra cash, than just trying to do it in one go. Anyway, Wissenberg, let's upgrade you. Where else? Leoness can finally get a level 5. That'd be good. Okay, Bernard Victolos. Let's just give you Blade Shield for now. Emily Billon, let's see. I don't actually get to use this spell much. It's just for the amount of magic it costs and for what it actually does, I'd rather just stick with the Purple Sun. So let's get Vidigar King Conduit. Okay, let's just give you that, man. Alright, we'll just see what happens when it comes to the next turn. See, it was like, let's, you know, to get the garrison upgraded. Let's upgrade this. Well, go ahead and do these two as well, here at Altdorf. Alright, Deathmasters around the area. We've got another Eshin army here. Morrigan has decided to retreat back, that's fine by me. I think we can leave it all here. Let me just check the diplomacy once more, just to see. You're still not willing to do anything. Alright, non-aggression? Okay, they've accepted it. I like the idea that we're becoming more legitimate in the eyes of the Bretonnian people, that we're actually able to do stuff like that. That's quite funny, I must say. Okay, that should do it. Oh, I'm supposed to start talking, aren't I? Okay, where was I then? Right. So, nothing much actually happened during the end turn phase, although we do have a situation that has now developed a power of on. We'll get down to that in just a moment. I'm just finishing going through the pop-ups. Oh, brutal business. Okay, all armies now have plus 20 weapon damage. Fair enough. Oh, Margaret's back. Okay. And Jean Clamet. Cool. Ivor Gendrick. Right. Okay. So, the situation that has now developed in Power Von, if we head over to there, is it's under siege by not 1, not 2, not even 3, but potentially 4. Oh, hang on. Oh no, it's just 3. So the Sisters of Twilight basically started laying siege to the city, and then we got some reinforcements such as Dieth, as well as... where's the other one? Master Tadufus here, all coming in to reinforce. Now, the only army we got in position really to do anything is actually Nicolette's. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not too comfortable going up against these armies by herself. In fact, do you even have Lightning Strike? Because that would be useful if you did. You don't. Crap. Right. Okay, sure. Where is William? Here's William. Now, unless I want to trespass through Knight's Pass, which, you know what, I'm going to do exactly that, I don't feel bothered to walk all the way up towards Fort Bergbreeze and head back down, especially as we're going to be going to war with Middenland in the future. So he can come over here, and the two of them hopefully can team up to go and attack the attackers of Paravon. So you can do that. Not for mind you. You are there. Okay. Jean Clamet, unfortunately, you're not in a position to join up with the army because they're in there. Where was Margaret, actually? To trespass in... Ready for duty. Margaret, where are you? All the way over here. Well, I'm not going to get William to wait for you, but I will get her to start moving over towards Paravon. So I'll click here, and she can start doing that herself. What I'll do, though, with Jean Clamet is I'll move him into William's army temporarily, just so we have a good character joining the force. Does mean he has 2 Vikings, but I'm sure he'll be fine with that. He might want a break from his beloved anyway. Right, so Nicolette's going to stay there. William's moved. Aiden has Wound. And Assault Unit. Okay, Aiden, I'm going to borrow you a moment. It means we're going to take a slight decrease to our income, but that's okay. I'm going to take advantage of his wound ability, hopefully go after any characters they have. There's one here, for example, a branch wraith. And if I click on the sisters, they got a bunch of Waystalkers and Glade Captains, so that would be good. Or we can use Rune Target to go after some of these Zoats, because they're a right pain in the butt. Right. And now they're just going to stay around here for me. Margaret's only moved. Eustache. It's going to take a little while for him to get over here as well, isn't it? Yeah, 3 turns. Okay, let's just let him keep going to where I was going to send him, towards Carenberg. So that's you done. Vlad can make his way over towards here now. Right, that's you done. Malabad, at this point I'll just get you a normal stance and you can head over here. Yeah, you have to go that way anyway. Excuse me, I told you to go into Ordorf? Thank you. Right. There we go. That's now everybody moved and in position, the best I can do. Right. Next bit. Points. Mina. Let's increase your hit points a bit now. Oh yeah, I need to move the Duke, don't I? Right, we'll do that in a second as well. You've picked up immortality, you've gained everything, really, magical-wise. Let's just start giving you things like Dark Benediction, maybe. I'll give you a Lady's Mantle for the armor protection against missiles. Aldrich. Let's finish off the Curse of Years for you. 1 more level until you gain immortality. I hope you get it. Especially if we're going to deal with that fight down there. Alright, let's get you to move down here now. Oh, wow. Wow-wow-wee. Okay. Huh. I mean, there is every chance we could actually win this. If we try to fight it. Now, I'll tell you what we'll do. Pull out. And let's just see if we're able to maybe pull off an ambush, maybe? We haven't got enough movement. Damn it. Fine, I'll just move you out here temporarily. I mean, if I have to move him back to Fort Seoul, so be it. I'd rather not worry about the Duke when we've got the situation developing over here. Right. Another check of this. You're still not willing to do anything. What about this? No? Never mind. Still got a way to go before we can even attempt to get trade. That's unfortunate. But anything we can do for Witch Force to help out. Summoning some Blood Knights could be useful. Public Order. That's not such a big deal. I think given we're going to have a bunch of battles, we'll try and do that in the following turn. Might as well take advantage when we're done, eh? Blackstone Post, by the way. How are you doing? Still a little way to go. We'll increase that while we're here, then.
Oh, interesting. So we had an opportunity to intercept Lord Dieth travelling through the world routes. Now, despite the fact we heavily outnumber his army, the balance bar is slightly against me, so we're going to have to fight this one. Oh, how is Dieth again as a fighter? I can never remember. He's not too bad. Much better in defense than he is attack. Although William is a much better fighter. The only thing is going to be fighting all of these Glade Guard. It's going to be very similar to, I imagine, an enemy force fighting more males. But we're going to take the opportunity to do this. So, we'll see you guys down on the battlefield. So, with the quarry in sight, William and his army start marching towards the forces of the Wood Elves, led by the Master Smith himself, Lord Dieth. Now, I have to admit, I really do like the battle maps when fighting in the world routes. I just think they have managed to capture that feeling of being deep in the forest extremely well, especially with bits like the lighting and stuff like that. I always thought it was really, really cool. But I always found it weird as well, the idea of an enemy army being able to intercept a Wood Elf army inside the world routes. Because bearing in mind, it's not like using the Underway, which several factions, like the Dwarves, the Orcs, the Skaven and that all use. It's not like the Beast Paths, which are those deep, the forest, bleh, the paths, like very deep in the forest where only the Beastmen tend to know. These are actually sort of mystical routes system, very similar, I guess you could say, to the Webway for the Eldar in 40k. So the idea that we can just sort of march in and happen to intercept them as they're going past always feels a bit weird to me. But one of those things. Now, you can see our forces making their way slowly over to where Dieth and his forces have deployed. If I bring the UI back, you can see we're about 4 minutes in, because while Dieth and his army was quite happy to wait for us to arrive, I didn't want to rush our troops and get them even more tired. Because don't forget, we're fighting this battle in march stance, so all of my force, with the exception of William, is diminished in vigour. He isn't, of course, because he's now a Black Grail Knight, which means he has perfect vigour, as benefits someone who is drunk from the Black Grail. But anyway, as we are charging in, you can see the enemy is just waiting patiently for us to get into position. In fact, some of their troops over here have already started to open up, the Deepwood Scouts. I did want to show off as well, by the way, the Zoat models. I can't never remember if these guys are in the base game anymore or from one of the mods. But these are the ones who are going to be causing me a lot of trouble with the Sisters of Twilight, and to a lesser extent with Dieth's army. The Sisters of Twilight have got 4 units of these, and they are just a pain in the butt. Not only because they're quite tough to deal with, but also because they have limited access to spells. They can use Earthblood to heal up units nearby, and Flesh to Stone to give themselves and nearby units extra armor. So, yeah, just annoying to deal with. But anyway, you can see the Wood Elves are just firing every arrow they got as they get into range against my forces, and unfortunately for me, William is the main target. I forgot to take into account that he's obviously got his horse, and so he's going to be out in front and get the brunt of the missile fire. In fact, you can see his health is really wearing down as I go back to normal speed. He tanks a lot of arrows. Luckily for me, no, he has got stuff like this particular thing, the shielded, which as you can see will block 35% of missile fire, but he still takes a ton of damage. And as you saw then, I was trying to get him to actually attack Dieth, because according to these little cursor things that pop up when it tells you if the enemy is stronger than you, weaker than you, and so on, apparently we would have had the advantage against Dieth, but the Zoats have come in to attack me instead, and we sort of pinned them in place. Now it's okay though, he is, in the meantime, sort of quite isolated, but as soon as he was getting into range, I started charging in. He unleashed a fireball just then, which managed to do a bit of damage against him, and very soon my forces are going to just come charging in. Now, we do need to weather some more arrow shot, but it's okay, we're going to try our best. You can see over here that Victolos has already started trying to get some of the scouts to skirmish back. We've got units now, the Grey Men charging in to try and help. The only issue, of course, when you're fighting Wood Elves is that a lot of their missile troops can fire while moving, especially units like the Scouts and the Way Watchers. So yeah, not exactly ideal. Now, at this point, because I was a bit concerned about William, he was about to die, as you can see. So I charged in my damned Knights of the Realm, as well as originally was going to try and get my Black Knights to head around the flanks to chase after the enemy's ranged units. Unfortunately, though, one of them got stuck. That's okay. We've got some then making their way through and starting to get the enemy to skirmish back. Victolos is doing a good job as well over there. And over on this side, we've got the Grave Guard, as well as the Grey Men, just going to town against the enemy's War Dancers, armed with Azrai spears. Now, these guys are pretty good in combat, truth be told, despite their low armor, but they've got 47 armor at the moment. Oh yeah, of course, that's right. Diev has a unique skill in his skill tree that allows you to increase the armor of pretty much everyone in his army. So for something like the Wood Elves, that's a very valuable skill to have. The ability just to increase your lightly armored troops so they can still, defend themselves. Extremely good. Now anyway, we've managed to corner off some of their Glade Guard over here using my damn Knights of the Realm and Victolos. So they're slowly going to be whittling these down and stop them from shooting at my troops. The main fight, though, is actually going on back here. We've managed to deal some damage to the Zoats, but they're still hanging on in there. Dief is still somewhere around here. Or at least I swear he was. Oh, there he is. He's trying to retreat, but he's also trying to go after my Crypt Ghouls and units like that and send in to try and chase the enemy down. You just saw then a gaze and a gash, courtesy of Aldrich the Mad. But we managed to get some of the damned out of the way, and I'm moving my Crypt Ghouls slowly out of the way, so I can focus going after the Zoats and that with the rest of my force. You can see we're slowly taking down the Zoats bit by bit, one of them falling to the floor just there, while the other three are trying to retreat. Now at this point, Lord Dief is kind of stuck. He's surrounded by my polemen. So, yeah, while he's going to be able to do quite well against him, luckily for me, it was at this particular point the enemy decided to rout completely. So I started chasing them down. Then I remembered that we are fighting in the World Root system. So if I remember correctly, although I should have remembered this, given that I'm recording this after playing, but the enemy should be completely wiped out because we are the victors. But let's go back to the campaign map so we can find out for certain from past me, eh? So there we have it, a decisive victory, although, I'll be honest, I don't feel like I deserve that. We took a few casualties across the board, and I nearly lost William, and don't forget, he is not immortal, he's only he's not even level 14 quite yet, he's so close though. But yeah, that went okay. It went okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to go ahead and dominate the captives, just to try and get some replenishment back in case we've got any more enemies to fight this turn. In fact, here come the sisters. Oh, crap. We're going to have to fight these guys. I honestly thought, wait. Oh. Why did I have it in my head that if you had attacked an army in march stance and they won, they no longer count as being in march stance because they've sort of defaulted back to combat stance. Huh. Well, we're going to have to fight it. And I'm not looking forward to it, I can tell you that. Here we go. So here we are, as we prepare to take on the Sisters of Twilight with William the Terror. Now, because of how little health William has after that previous fight with Lord Dief, I'm going to keep him out of combat for basically the entire fight. I know he's our best fighter, but I didn't want to run the risk of losing him. Now, I admit beforehand, I thought it was because I was worried about him dying and we actually losing him as a character in the campaign. But it was only after this that I realised that he is immortal. already, despite his low level, because of the fact that he is a member of the Bloodline leaders, so it all start off with immortality as a standard thing. So, yeah, in hindsight, I could have tried using him a bit, but I didn't want to risk it, especially with how little health he did have. So, instead, the rest of the battle is going to be relying on my other forces. Now, this was going to be one hell of a tough fight anyway, simply because of what the enemy have. Very similar to Momel's army from my Skaven campaign. The enemy have got a whole bunch of monstrous creatures, the Zoats in particular. They've got 4 units of these, including the Enigmas of Gairan. They are a Regiment of Renown unit of Zoats. I'm not too sure what the difference is between the two of them, but yeah, we're going to fight them anyway. Of course, they've also got their Glade Guard armed with things like Star Shafts. Over here, we've got Swift Shiver Shards, which allows them to shoot multiple rounds, if I remember correctly, from the Scouts. We've even got some Way Watchers back here as well. Yeah, it's very similar to Mormel. Lots of monstrous creatures, lots of ranged firepower. And of course, we don't actually have the Sisters of Twilight on a Forest Dragon. Instead, we have Mormel on a Doom Wheel. But I always love the antlers on a Forest Dragon. It looks really, really cool. If Warhammer Fantasy was still a thing, I would have still loved to collect the Wood Elves. Although, saying that, they're supposed to be bringing it back at some point, or at least one that takes place in, like, several centuries before the events that everyone in Warhammer Fantasy know. At least from things that they've shown in the past, anyway. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to fight the Sisters. Now, like I said, I'm keeping William back here, even behind Aldrich, and realizing I didn't want to get shot to death by the enemy's missile fire, I started moving my troops slowly at first, until they started firing back at me. Now, they've already got one shot in using the, hiccups, Arrows of Kurnos, and you can see they're piping in my other units. Luckily, though, because of the damage they've taken in previous battle at the fort, some of their troops aren't at full strength, like this unit of Way Watchers, but a lot of them are still going to do some damage. Now, we have the same situation as last time, when Bernhoff, Victorlos this time, is actually getting shot at by a lot of the enemy's ranged units. But it does mean the enemy is a nice straight line for me to try and use the Wind of Death, although, as you can tell, it didn't do that much damage. I think it managed to do something to some other units, like the Way Watchers here, but if I actually hover over Aldrich a sec, yeah, you only got 15 kills. Well, that's a shame. Honestly, thought it would have been more. But anyway, I've got Victorlos charging in to try and deal with either the Zoats or go after the Deepwood Scouts. He's not exactly equipped for going up against monstrous creatures, especially as these guys are anti-large and armor-piercing, and he isn't. But I was going to try my best anyway. We have quite limited in what we got, and of course, I don't want to lose any units if I can avoid it. So, yeah, we're just going to try our best. Now, one thing I did do is I got my Raylan Hags over here to go after these very tiny units, the survivors from the fort battle. So we've got the War Dancers here, for example. We've got other units like the Scouts that are going to be trying to deal with using the Hags as much as I can. I have got the Black Knights charging in over here because I just figured why not. Got some Rangers back there as well. And what I wanted to do with my cavalry is to try and get them behind the Wood Elves, so we can go and chase down as much of their ranged units as possible. If we can eliminate those, that would make things so much easier for us. So that's what they're going to do. I was trying to get them into position back here, but if I can chase down 1 or 2 units already on the way, that was fine by me. I also want to check out this Glade Captain, because I believe this was introduced with the Sisters of Twilight DLC. So, when I last played as the Wood Elves, the Glade Captain was fairly different, because it was a modded character. But yeah, that's a pretty cool unit. I especially love the giant deer it's on. The white stag. Look at those antlers. They're pretty much as tall as he is. Or she is. Anyway. So, the main part of the fight at this point is getting split up into 2 sides. Over on this side, we've got some Zoats we're dealing with using Victorlos, as well as, the Mortar's Engine. I'm sending a bunch of units in, ready to try and pin them in place and slowly wear them down. And over here we've got our monstrous creatures, both the Grey Men and the Vargolf, going to be charging in to join in the fight as well. Over on this side, we've already got some Zoets into close combat, along with the Sisters of Twilight. This is not the best fight for me to be sending them into. We do have some men-at-arms armed with polearms, which, as you can see from the tab on the side, they are anti-large and have armor-piercing damage, but they're still only peasants, even with their increased stats, thanks to their experience. So I'm trying my best really to hold these guys in place as much as I can, even with the Sisters of Twilight not really helping me out in that regard. I believe... there he is. I'm sending Jean-Clamet Realm Killer in, because I thought at least I can send a character in. But bearing in mind, he is not immortal, so he is going to take some damage in this fight. But the most important thing I wanted to try and do is hold the Sisters in place, and my main focus was actually going to be trying to win this battle over here, and also to try and kill off the enemy's ranged units. Now, funny enough, the Glade Captain here and the Ray Stalkers didn't actually get involved in the battle all that much. I mean, this guy is firing away with his arrows, and he's actually done a fair bit of kills, surprisingly so. But while he's doing that, it allows us, though, to go after the enemy's skirmishing units. So we've got one Ray Stalker that's already taken some damage. The other scouts at this point have all been taken out. They're going to start running away any minute. It's just trying to whittle down that last bit of leadership. Over here in this fight, you can see just the sheer amount of units we've got fighting the Zoets. We've got everything here from the Grey Men, we've got Crypt Ghouls, we've got the Graveguard. I believe there was actually a unit of polearms back here. And of course we've got the Mortars engine trying to regenerate my Graveguard as we do this. Now, I've got the Black Knights charging in as well. I didn't have much faith in their ability because they're not designed for fighting large units. But I figured if we can keep getting the odd rear charge in, that will reduce the enemy's leadership as well. Now, over this part, you can see this unit is already starting to pull back. We're going to be chasing them down, and as they retreat, of course, we can chase after them and do some more damage. So it was enough that we've actually got one unit gone. You can just saw then the Vargolf smash this particular Zoa to the ground. And when the game catches up, we're able to chase down the rest of them with some of our damned Knights of the Realm. Now, one unit is still hanging on in there the best it can. So we're going to be waiting until this one starts retreating before we can start pulling units out. Over here, though, the fight is going very, very different. I've got William back here still trying to provide a bit of a buff to the local leadership, as well as using his Ring of Ruby Ruin in order to try and basically shoot fireballs at the Sisters as and when we can. So it has done a little bit of damage, but as you can see, not a lot. Most of this is just down to my infantry, but with 106 kills, it's not doing the best against them. Now, I sent in the Raylan Hags just because I was hoping that they could do a little bit better, and the entire area has been debuffed using the Curse of Years from Aldrich. So that's helping a little bit, but as you can see hovering over the Sisters of Twilight, they've, even with this minus 24% debuff, their melee attack was 78. Now, I don't know about the tabletop, I don't remember them being as powerful when it came to close combat. They were designed to try and stay away from combat as much as possible because of their items like their magical bows and that, but in this case, not so much. Now, another Gaze and a Gash managed to tear into them in order to do some more damage, and we're slowly whittling them down. But as you can see, my forces are not exactly holding on to that as well. The Zoats have managed to do a fair bit of damage between them all. I've nearly lost my unit of Black Knights here, so I'm busy going to be trying to pull them back any minute. But the Vargolf has come in to try and do some damage. Thankfully, he's quite good at what he does and is able to regenerate, so that's helped out greatly in this fight. Over on this side, I keep hitting the chat button when I want to speed things up a bit, but we've now dealt with this unit of Zoats, and we're still trying to chase down other bits here and there. So we've got some units going after the Waystalker. I'm sending some of my Graveguard after the Glade Captain. Got some forces in the distance chasing down the other Waystalker. And generally at this point, all we need to do is just focus on this last bit of fighting here. Now, I'm actually getting the Black Knights out of there. They only got reduced down to 6 lost casualties. let me say that again. Ugh. It's getting tired at this point. The video should have been out a while ago, but I've just been recording for nearly 4 hours just trying to get through this episode with all the damn things I didn't want to talk to you guys about. But yeah, it's starting to wear me down a bit. Anyway, the Zoettes are still hanging on in there, as is the Sisters of Twilight, but fortunately for me, I've got so many units now going to be coming in and support that we're going to see the enemy, well, battle swinging in my favour, as you would have already saw. The Enigmas of Gairan here are still hanging on in there. I believe one unit of Zoettes has already started to... No, it hasn't yet. Ignore me then. But in order to avoid taking any more losses from my units, I've got Jean-Claude Wormkiller back here. He's managed to hold his own against the Sisters quite well. But I didn't want him to die, so he pulled him back. And here is that magical part of the battle. As you can see, a chain rout occurs now thanks to the amount of casualties we've inflicted, and it was enough to get even the Sisters to retreat. Now I'm going to take some time to try and chase down as much of the enemy as I can. Bear in mind at this point, there isn't much of them left still on the battlefield to worry about. So I do have units like my Knights of the Realm here chasing after the Glade Captain. There's units here going after the Waystalkers. There was another one over there. I did try to get the Sisters of Twilight before they got airborne, but unfortunately they did, so we'll just have to leave them now. But I'm going to try and chase down what I can of the Zoettes, and so we kill off as much as we can. But, yeah, victory is mine. Let's go back to the campaign map. Well, that was a tough fight. A close victory. Managed to wipe out nearly the entire army in the process without losing any units, but we came extremely close. Jean-Claude, Bernhard Victorlos nearly got wiped out. Nearly lost my unit of men-at-arms here. But we did it, guys. We did it. Right. Christ, 2% replenishment. It's not even worth it. I'm going to go and return the captives. That way we can get our hands on some more dark magic. She's going to retreat. Hopefully, we'll be able to send Nicolette in to finish the job. Oh my god, for a second I thought they were sending in Master to death us after him as well. Oh, I don't think I would have been able to manage that. Oh dear. Right then, after all of that, we're going to have one more turn, and then I'm going to end the episode. So I don't think my heart can take any more after that fight. Right, anyway. Oh, that's something for Diaph's army. Now that the supposed god of smithing has been dealt with, shall we raid his armory? I mean, it's not exactly the biggest boost, plus 6 armor, plus 3 melee defense, but sure. That's much nicer though. Missile strength 10%. Unfortunately, William doesn't have any missile weapons. But the fact that it means he is going to replenish much more quickly now. That's going to be good. Skip through all of these. Armor of Fortune, Crones, raid. Right. Let's see what we can do. I want the Duke to try and set up an ambush if we can, so we can go after Ikit army and then go after Karakizor. So let's just set one up right here, because I don't think we're going to get better than 80 anywhere around here, are we? I doubt it. Plus this way we can always catch him as he leaves. So, you're going to do that. Let's get Vlad and Malabad ready, because we'll be in a position now to actually declare war on Middenland. But before we do that, let's just have a look down here. So, Masters of Twilight, Sisters of Twilight I should say, I've only got those left. We'll use the opportunity for Bernhoff to get some experience. So Marius. So if we get you to march into here, we'll grab William then to march into Montfort, so he can get some replenishment. Then we'll send you in then to kill the sisters off. There we go. Goodbye. Alright, still didn't defeat the sisters completely. Oh no, it did. Alright, so that now gives Marius some extra casualty replenishment when it comes to the fights.
picked up the brass cleaver as well. Nicolette's got the tormentor sword. I might kind of swap that around, just because I do like this spell for units that are going to be in melee, which she isn't going to be. So I'll see about swapping them around now, actually. So if I grab you and swap out the brass cleaver for the tormentor sword, there we go. I'll give you a bunch of stuff as well. I could have swore I'd given you items already. Maybe I didn't. That's okay, we'll do the rest of it in between episodes. So, we're in a position now we could consider pushing forward, but I'd rather not. We'll get you to go back in here. I'll bring Nicolette in to provide support back. No, I'll keep her back here, actually. Just so she can protect William. Or even better. I'll tell you what, let's grab Vlad a minute. I'm going to move him down to Uberswijk. So when we actually do the declaration of war against Middenland in a minute, he's able to defend Uberswijk, and hopefully between him and Nicolette they'll be able to take Knight's Pass. Once that's secured then, I'll be able to send Vlad up to support Malabad. William should be almost up to full strength now, just 2 more turns. And then we'll be able to combine the 3 armies of him, Nicolette, and Marius to go after Togovan. We'll probably end up going to have to fight Durfu as well. I'm beginning to remember why I never was a fan of fighting Dark Elves. Sorry, Wood Elves. Alright, Jean Clement, I tell you what. As an opportunity now, you can now join back up with Marius's army. There we go. Right. That should now be everyone. So let's grab Malabad. And let's do it as properly. Declare war. They will bring in the Grand Baronies of Nordland and Hockland. But if we can try and do things sneaky-like. Harbingers of Doom. Okay. So let's pop onto the map a minute. Harbingers of Doom. Or better yet, we'll just do this. Okay, Harbingers, are you willing to let me join in your war against Midland? Not willing to give me anything for it, but that's good. This way then we don't have to worry about Nordland or Hockland joining in the fight. So you can come in now and just secure Karenberg. There we go. Alright. If we need to, we can then deal with Conway from Blotton here. Otherwise, we can march up and then towards Weismund. Still got Middenstag and Middelheim to take. Got the Black Pits they've secured. Wrecker's Point is under control of Nordland. They've taken on now, so we'll have to secure that. Yeah, well, that's okay. We'll deal with all this. Alright, let's set you in ambush, just in case that might help. And then we've got 29,000 to spend. Right. Let's quickly go through the level ups, because quite a few of our characters have managed to earn some good level ups here. Alright, so that's you done. William. Oh, you are immortal. Wait. Oh yeah. I had in my head that William wasn't immortal, but he is, because he is technically a bloodline character. Whoops. Nevertheless, we managed to keep him alive, and he can now get himself a hippogriff. There we go. I think he deserves that after what he's been able to pull off. You now gain immortality. Congratulations, Aldrich. Your Cassin. Let's have a look. Still think it'll be best to start working on some more magic things, so let's grab Wind of Death. Now let's grab Curse of Years. We'll go for the debuffs, I think, with him. Laurent Bassant will give you Chain Lightning. Matthias will give you Scarred Veteran. Alright, Strigoi Bloodline. I think it would be a good idea to go for something like the Hunger or the Invocation, but we'd have already put a Necromancer inside the army. I think it will be better if we can start getting for more Enlightened Strike straight away. So we'll go for that and for Immortal Horror. So that will give him that, and in the following turn... No, next time he levels up, I should say. We'll go for finishing off the Amber Spear with you. Okay, Savior. Let's finish off Gaze and Nagash. Jean-Claude, at this point now, I'm going to give you a Hellsteed. I think you deserve it after that. Alright, so that's you done. Fieldorf can be upgraded. We'll go ahead and do that. Let's see, Flensburg can as well. Sure, by all means. Looks like we're going to be using this for its economy purposes as well, so I'm going to give another Cursed Bog just to increase that. Okay, Bolgers. Let's give you Blade Shield again. Malabad will give you Deadly Blade. And let's just have a quick look to see what else we need. So it has stock, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, all power bonds okay. Massive Oracle. Sure, let's grab that. We'll grab that as well, just to continue spreading corruption. Blackstone Post, we'll do the same here. Wastelands, let's upgrade Marienburg's defenses. Double check our diplomacy. Come on, give me trade. No. Who you are currently at war with, by the way? Skye, Tabakland, and the Manblight tribe. It might be a good opportunity for us later to use that war to our advantage. So we might be able to get, for example... There we go. We'll be able to get, for example, us to join the war against Tabakland, maybe in return for trade. It might work. You're not willing to do anything yet. Alright. There we go. Okay then, nothing to report during the end turn phase, so let's tick through all of these. Oh, Vendrick got wounded by a clan Scry Warlock. That's about it. Okay. Right. Gonna end things here now for today. So, we started our war against Middenland. We've managed to successfully defend ourselves against the Sisters of Twilight, and as well as Dief. We're in a position where we could potentially march to attack Vol's Anvil. But we're also going to have to be prepared to deal with Durfu and his armies. Wait, what are these? Oh, Aspect of the Birch, right. I was about to say, we're not using Close to the Tabletop. We can't build hordes. But right, of course, this is part of the mechanics they have now, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, let's end things here for today. So guys, thank you for watching today's one. Hope you enjoyed, and you do join me next time, of course, for some more Warhammer. But until then, everybody, take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.